Also, I just love how I always tend to like start streaming with absolutely no notice to anyone. I'm just like, I'm here.
Yes.
Hello
Because
there.
who needs to know?
Who needs to know?
Hello there. If you're not on the stream right as it starts, you're just a loser.
Oh my goodness! Don't immediately insult the audience, Nightlen. Goodness gracious! Oh, pipe down
No.
there! Don't immediately start off that aggressive. We're just starting. It's alright. Glitch trap possessed Nightlen for a second, and instantly, wow,
Yeah.
dang.
Yes, I am insulting everybody except myself who was on the stream as soon as it happened.
There you
But
go. There you go. And I'm here with my water, ready to get into some good
yes.
old FNAF. I'm excited to start. So the kind of to recap, I guess for myself and others, what happened last time? What happened last time? Let's think.
Well, what happened last time, the main thing, because we didn't get too far into it,
Yeah.
it was that we were playing hide and seek, and Gregory and Freddy were big fat dirt where we had no way to win because Gregory was hiding inside Freddy just casually, which, always a good idea to hide inside the animatronics. That has never ended it poorly for anybody in this franchise ever.
No.
And
Never.
no matter which way you went, he would get you. He also would get very aggressive and attack staff bots in some of the paths, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Or something like a staff bot.
Which is interesting.
He was also mean towards the arcade machines, which I don't know if we should read too much into that. The arcade machine things with like Princess Quest and all that.
I think
Probably
we
nothing there.
we should absolutely read way
Oh,
way
okay.
too into that. I mean
But
already.
yeah,
Go ahead.
you go ahead. Oh,
The amount
Shing
of
Xiaomi soda.
but no, the amount of rabbit holes we've already gone down is quite a lot. But so yeah, we ended off with the second chapter or second night, where it went into Monty. So it seems like each night's going to be focused around an animatronic. So you have Monty, Freddy, Roxy, and then there's 5 nights. So you have Freddy, Monty, Roxy, Chica, and then
Yeah.
who's the fifth? That's interesting.
Um, Gregory, but we find
Gregory
out
is
he's
the
actually a robot.
imagine this is the book
No.
that starts this.
Well, actually, no. I would say also the Gregory is a robot theory. There's more to it now. There's more evidence
Oh
because
yes.
apparently, Cassie can't tell the difference between Freddy walking and Gregory walking. Which, if I remember Security Breach, human footsteps versus animatronics seemed pretty distinctive to me.
Yeah.
So, also, I would say that it probably could be inferred that the aggression towards staff bots is probably Gregory messing with the animatronics to try to get rid of the staff bots, or at least that's how I infer it.
Which is interesting because in Ruin, Monty attacks a staff bot. Um, in that whenever you're playing as Cassie. So that's an interesting kind of idea that like maybe the mimic has it out for the staff bots. Maybe he doesn't like them. Potentially with their association with Glitch Trap. Because I've always had the theory that the mimic and Glitch Trap do not have a good relationship. Like they are not friends. They do not like each other. Of course, assuming they're two different entities, but considering that Glitch Trap is a virus, the Mimic is a program, kind of makes sense a little bit that they're two different things at odds for me. Because we also had
Yeah,
Monty
I agree.
in this ending kind of mimic Cassie, which was interesting. I don't know if it was in this ending, because I don't remember where we are. I just know that this links to um, the third chapter, which is what we're getting into. There's a lot of things in chapter 2 that we did not get to, but we're going to just go forward as one continuous playthrough. So in this playthrough, we got the Bonnie keychain and bolts and screws as collectibles. We've used Bonnie keychain. Got the key from it to look into the storage room. So we have the bolts and screws, which I'm guessing we use as like a distraction, or like to put in the way. All right, so we are going to move on.
I'd agree.
Okay, so night 3, and Gregory specifically has the claim, as of right now, that Monty's mishap, his like glitch, was not Gregory, even though Gregory literally was holding a tablet that then was able to control him.
Okay.
Which,
Yes. I also want to just like call out the most surprising thing of all of that is that Gregory is actually not intentionally trying to get you killed, or so it seems. That's like really the most surprising thing.
2, also the connection of controlling the animatronics with a tablet is something we saw in Security Breach, because Vanessa used a tablet to disassemble Freddy. So that is not new. And that's interesting because, again, it's the idea that these, like, it's that connection back to them both having access to this technology for some reason. Or both wanting to control the animatronics in specific ways. It's all about control. So I guess, should we start? Do we want to try to divvy out voices or anything? Or do we kind of want to just...
Whatever feels natural, I guess.
I am good with honestly.
I don't know. We can just go with the go with the flow.
Okay.
I'll leave all the narration stuff to you though.
Okay. All right. Night 3, guys. I'm guessing this is gonna be like Chica or Roxy. It always feels a little weird being in the Pizzaplex when it's actually open and full of people. The crowd have started to thin out as closing time approaches and your third overnight adventure begins. But there are still plenty of families milling about playing games, picking out prizes, and scarfing down the last of their popcorn and pizza. You're lingering with Gregory in a remote corner, watching as Freddy lumbers about the lobby, waving and snapping selfies with kids. If only they knew how much fun the Pizzaplex could be at night, when you have it all to yourself. At least it used to be fun. The last 2 nights have left a terrible feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Oh,
Nervous in the pit, into the pit, guys. Confirmed time travel. Agony. All right. Nervous about whatever Gregory has in store. He swears he's fixed the problems with Monty, but you're not sure you believe him. In fact, you're not sure there was a problem to begin with. Maybe it was an intentional glitch added by Gregory. His games have been getting so serious lately, so real. If they are this dangerous, are they really games at all? No, they're preparations for something different. Which we're gonna get into more as the book goes on, because I'm really curious for that element, for how all of this sets up Security Breach, with Gregory kind of sort of designing his own doom in a way. Potentially some interesting points there, but we'll keep reading.
I just want to say too, just like going ahead and reading this, you know, she is such a great friend if she feels this badly about Gregory before Ruined, and she still tries to help him anyway. Because this is not saying, hey, I feel a lot of trust towards you. This is saying, I feel like my friend is trying to kill me, but I am such a loyal friend that I am willing to die for you.
It almost makes
the logic of a 10-year-old be crazy.
Life in Ruin make more sense.
Not make sense.
Or like make more sense, because why would she care if putting herself in danger if she did that anyways with him as her friend?
I guess so.
What's the difference? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you'd be less prone to help somebody if you feel like they've already worked against your best interest. But maybe that's just me.
yeah, it's definitely weird. I think it's interesting how Cassie's betrayed here as somebody who's very naive, not really aware of the circumstance she's really in or how weird it actually is. Almost like she's not seeing the situation for how it really is. Very much like an AR situation. Her perspective is augmented, perhaps. You know, um, intentionally maybe keeping blind because he's her only friend. I don't know.
Yes.
Um,
This is interesting though. So
okay, let's see where
we're saying I'm gonna go.
All right, so
Yeah.
Gregory's watching the people trickle out, anticipation blooming on his features. You're not sure you want to know what he has in store for tonight. In fact, you know you don't. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, his attention snaps over to
Oh,
you,
it's all right.
mouth turning downward into a frown. What?
What?
Do you wanna voice
Yeah.
Cassie?
Yeah. I guess so. Sure. I said I'm gonna go.
You start towards the door.
I don't feel like playing tonight.
Cassie, wait, he calls after you. Don't go. But you don't listen. You stalk off, determined to stick to your decision. Maybe if he doesn't have anyone to play with for tonight or for a night or two, Gregory will learn his lesson. As you reach where Freddy stands, the animatronic suddenly steps into your path. Hey, Cassie, Freddy says too cheerily. Where are you going? Sorry, Fred. Oh,
Sorry, Freddy.
You try to go around him.
No games tonight.
Freddy holds out an arm blocking you, but you can't leave. You want to go?
Oh, let's see here.
Saying what?
Wait, where are we?
Right there.
Sorry, I'm a little behind on the stream.
Oh, you're good.
Let me see here. You said blocking view. But also for things like covering just like a little bit of the text. Now that it's caught up.
Hold on. You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if maybe I just turn off my camera. I have a
Yeah,
feeling
you could do that.
Here, let's just okay. No face cam this time. Let's just go and immerse ourselves. Okay.
Yep.
Say what?
What?
You take it.
Sorry, I just couldn't see that word for face cam. But
you take a step back. You don't get a chance to say more. Freddy grabs you, scooping you into his chest cavity. What? Which closes up before you have a chance to fight back. We're being kidnapped.
Boom, boom, boom.
You banged your
Hey,
fist
Freddy,
against
stop!
Freddy.
Stop it, Gregory! Help! This isn't funny.
But Freddy doesn't budge, and no matter how much you yell or bang and beg, no one answers your cries. Hours pass before Freddy's chest opens up again. Gregory peers in before he backs away, allowing you a chance to escape the chamber. You tumble to the floor of Freddy's green room. That's your line.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Oh,
man. Oh, let's see here. Wait, is there a thing on it? Oh, okay. Gregory!
You're so mad you don't know where to start. You jump to your feet, hands balled into fists.
Why are you being so mean? I can't believe you.
Cassie, I didn't do anything. Gregory throws up his hands, face tight with apprehension. It was all Freddy.
I don't believe you.
You snap. You take a deep breath and let it out. Why are you bothering? You turn on your heel, ready to make for the exit. If Gregory thinks you're sticking around to play after this, he's got another thing coming. But Freddy grabs your arm, holding you back. It's true, Cassie. I'm sorry, but I had to keep you safe.
Safe?
Okay. After the last 2 nights, it doesn't seem like your safety matters to Gregory or Freddy.
What are you talking about?
Oh, interesting. This is going... I'm afraid the Pizzaplex is being, Freddy pauses, thinking, cleaned. You aren't sure what Freddy means, but you don't like the sound of it.
Gregory?
He nods. The Pizzaplex has activated a regent. It's sweeping the whole Pizzaplex, getting rid of all organic matter. Like you and Gregory, your stomach clenches. What? Wait, hold on. It's activated a Terminator. Oh no. What is this?
Okay, no, I will just say this. Man, Cassie is a smart 10-year-old because the fact that she hears organic matter and she immediately thinks, oh, me and Gregory are organic matter. I wasn't fully there whenever I was that age.
I mean, I'm more trying to get over the fact that the Pizzaplex has activated a regent. A reagent. Is it regent or reagent? I don't know if it matters.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. But whenever I was 10, I remember embarrassing myself because I didn't know the difference between organic and orgasmic. And like once I found out the difference, I was so embarrassed for using I thought they were the same thing. They were not. I found that out the hard way.
Okay. That very interesting tidbit there. Also, just a note, but moving on.
This is like such a strange thing for like organic matter. Okay, so how do we know? Like, has anybody been murdered? Like, and they've caught it?
Okay, one thing to note here. Oh boy, that's interesting. You know what a reagent is in chemistry a reagent or reagent, right? Or analytical reagent is a substance or compound added to a system to cause a chemical reaction or test if one occurs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting? Getting rid of all organic matter. You know what else affects organic matter? The entity from Ruin.
Phasgo.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh, close.
So, or as many would try to say, like Mexus. That whole like shadow creature. Getting rid of all organic matter. That's interesting. So it's a reagent. Has activated a reagent to it's sweeping the whole Pizzaplex. Interesting. So they're testing a chemical compound to get a reaction. So potentially this is the analogy here is that they are putting a reagent into the compound or chemical to see or test Cassie's reaction. That is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Also, I have to say our intelligence is not that good. Because we don't want to play tonight, right? We have established this. And their response is, I think there's something in the Pizzaplex trying to kill human beings.
So why
their justification for why we have to stay.
Yeah. What? Why would this make sense? This doesn't make sense. This is BS. This is bullcrap. Like this is, I think most everything that they're talking about kind of is. Okay, so I think Freddy and I can't stop it. No, Freddy and I can stop it, Gregory continues, but we need to get you somewhere safe while we work. You're weary. This sounds like the setup for another prank. Where, Also, the idea of the kitchen, right? Whenever you're like, the kitchen is the place where you cook. No, I'm joking. it's the Breaking Bad. That's the kitchen is where you make.
Or you say that because she's a woman?
No, that is. Oh my goodness, that is okay. I was trying to make like a Breaking Bad, like making.
Yes,
making
I had to make it sexist.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
where to go.
these popcorners, these are the bomb. Yeah, still nervous, you follow Gregory and Freddy to the main kitchen, where all the food machines have been shut down for the something.
Hold on. So we can hide you in there and focus on stopping the reagent. Still nervous, you fall. Okay, so to the main kitchen where the food machines have been shut down for the night. It's dark, and what little light follows you inside glints sharply off the stainless steel counters and shelves. Despite being a kitchen, the only signs of food are stacks of boxes and cans, all sealed and neatly organized. The room smells more like cleaning supplies than anything you could possibly eat. Wait here, Gregory instructs. Keep out of sight until we come back and tell you it's safe. With that, Gregory and Freddy rush off, leaving you in the metallic dark. For a minute, you just stand there, not sure what to do. You don't know if you can trust Gregory. But if he's telling the truth, and there is a dangerous spot roaming the Pizzaplex, you should find a place to hide, or some protection, at least. Whatever you do, you should make a
I will say
decision soon.
this, us hiding has not really worked out for us, so I'm nervous about this. Okay. So, I feel like at this point, we have had no reason to trust Gregory, okay? And while I think it is canonical that our character is a little slow, I feel like I don't want to be slow. I feel like we should try to beat Gregory to the punch.
I agree. I
feel like there's a butt coming.
I don't know what to think
I
about
agree,
this.
but yeah,
This is so weird. I love it, but it's also just like Gregory is just making stuff up. Like I don't have a doubt that there's going to be some weird staff bot that's waiting for us, hunting us for some reason. So that makes sense. It ends up the fifth night, the fifth animatronic hunting us is in fact a reagent.
Reagent? It could be.
So
Or reagent's just another name for Gregory's AI mode.
Could be indeed. If you want to follow, so we should follow Gregory.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, and maybe we'll get an ending at some point. Okay, after Gregory and Freddy leave, you just stand there for a moment, still in shock. The kitchen is silent and dark, even more so with them gone, and you don't like the idea of being stuck here until Gregory decides to return. Also, you can't shake the feeling that this is another joke being played on you. After all, the last 2 nights, you wouldn't put anything past Gregory. But why would he leave you in a kitchen of all places? Maybe he's telling the truth, and there is a dangerous spot on the loose in the Pizzaplex. The last thing you want is to run into something like that. But, no, you can't trust Gregory. You decide to follow him and Freddy and see what they are up to. You go over to the kitchen doors, but when you try to push them open, they don't budge. They're locked. Frustrated, you push harder, but it's no use. You're stuck. You play with the keypad a little, but it looks like the only way you're going to get the doors unlocked is to use a key card. If you have food service key card, if you want to find a place in the kitchen to hide, if you want to explore the kitchen further and look for a way. So we can't leave unless we found the key card from chapter 2. So
okay.
That's kind of
so I would say I feel like we should protect ourselves, because if we don't trust Gregory, just hiding and waiting for something to happen does not seem like it would line up with our previous choice to me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I would say let's explore the kitchen further. Okay, Gregory said to hide, but after the last 2 nights, You'd feel better if you had protection of some kind. Even though you're not sure the reagent actually exists, you begin looking around the kitchen. The room is sprawling and dark, and eerily quiet compared to during the day, when it would be bustling with service bots making pizza and hot dogs to feed the hungry Pizzaplex patrons. It's so big that if Gregory is telling the truth, you may not have time to spend searching everywhere. You may not have the time to spend searching everywhere. There are a lot of counters with a lot of prep equipment. There are also dozens of cabinets that might hold something you can defend yourself with. And tucked in the back, there's a walk-in refrigerator. Who knows what you might find in there? You glance back at the kitchen door, unsure of what to do, but knowing that whatever it is, you should do it soon. Search the fridge, search a cabinet.
So this is like a little dumb, but what I'm thinking here is we chose the third option the past 2 times. So I don't know what would be special about the counters, but we could just commit to following the third choice.
The rule of threes. I see.
Yes, the rule of threes.
I'm kind of personally interested in checking the fridge.
Cabinets makes more sense.
Because I have...
Or fridge, yeah.
I have an interesting theory as to what might be in there.
Ooh, okay.
So,
sure, you could do that.
I feel like it might... let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go with search the fridge for this run.
Okay.
We won't follow the rule of 3 this run. We will find out though what searching the counter. I almost want this to lead to an ending, just so we can get one. Okay. You decide to head to the fridge first. It's the only place where you won't have a view of the kitchen doors while you search. You pull the handle and the door swings open, a blast of chilly air hitting you in the face. Inside the walls are lined with shelves. There isn't that much real food to see, mostly cartons of batter, packaged toppings, and a box of hot dogs. You pick up a block of packaged cheese that looks more like plastic than food. Maybe it wouldn't hurt for the Pizzaplex to add a vegetable or two to its menu. But you're not going to be able to defend yourself with hot dogs or cheese. You search a little more, but disappointment grows as you find nothing interesting. Then, just as you are about to leave, something cylindrical beneath one of the shelves catches your eye. It's a screwdriver. You're not sure why it's in the refrigerator, but you decide to take it. Who knows? Maybe it'll come in handy later. So we got a refrigerator. We got a refrigerator. No, we got a screwdriver.
We got a refrigerator added to our inventory. Man, we have not skipped our exercises.
Also, I love that you commented, "Oh, not following the rule of threes is crazy." Wow. I'm just trying to make. I want to say last time I let you make most of the decisions. Okay. I made
Listen,
one choice.
I have no idea what we're talking about. I think that's just a random viewer. You know, that they're just letting their voices be heard.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I think that's 50% of the streaming audience.
Wow.
But
okay.
No, we'll get more views later.
Okay, so add screwdriver to your inventory if you want to search the cabinets. Oh, see, look at this. We can search the counters too. How do you feel about that? We can do both. The rule of threes.
Yes. Okay.
Can still apply. But do we want to search the cabinet or the counters?
I feel like we gotta do the counters.
Okay. So let's do the counters.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. This is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. This is our first ending, guys. You're not sure what you hope to find, but you begin scouring the counters. Looking around the various food machines all shut down for the night. Working methodically, you go up and down the rows, but there's not much to be found. After a while, you begin to feel silly, especially given the events of the last 2 nights. You can't shake the feeling that this is another one of Gregory's games. It's a strange prank, to be sure, but maybe instead of trying to scare you, he wants your night tonight to be super boring. Weird for sure, but you wouldn't put it past him. Suddenly, the door to the kitchen creaks open. You turn, expecting Gregory and Freddy to be there to tell you this was all another joke, but instead there's an unfamiliar bot. It's unlike any of the others you've seen in the Pizzaplex. It's bigger with ugly insect-like eyes and two arms that end in spray nozzles. On its back are several chemical tanks. A cold feeling runs over your skin. Gregory wasn't joking, and now the reagent has spotted you. You try to run, but it's blocking the door. There's nowhere for you to go, and nothing to defend yourself with. You can only watch as it raises its arms and begins to spray some sort of gas into the air. It burns the moment it hits you, filling your nostrils and running down your throat, making your eyes water. You start to cough, but it doesn't help. It's as if the reagent has wrapped metallic hands around your throat and is choking you. Desperate, you try to call for help, but for Gregory, for Freddy, for anyone, but you can't breathe. The world starts to swirl, your vision going dark around the edges. The last thing you see is reagent rolling forward, coming straight for you. That's interesting.
Yes. Okay, so the reagent is real.
So the reagent
We've
is
established.
real. Its description isn't. So it's got. Okay, so two arms that end in spray nozzles is crazy. You know what that almost reminds me of? It almost reminds me of like a FNAF AR skin, where it was like a flamethrower endo. I wonder if this is the mimic.
Maybe.
I doubt it. I heavily doubt it. That would be really funny, though.
So, should we just see if this is just a non-viable path by going back a page and trying the cabinet instead, and see if we can continue that way, or...
Is it just a page over? Let's see.
Yeah, right.
I didn't mark the page we were at before. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Where were we before? I guess we could try the night again.
Yeah, we could just try the night again if we don't know. That's fine. But it's likely this is just a death path in general, I guess. I don't really see how changing the cabinets, if they're that close, probably just leads to a slightly different death.
So, if you want to play... Okay, so if you want to explore the kitchen... So... doing this didn't get us anything unless we have the key card. So, but if we go back to this, searching the fridge gives us the screwdriver. Let's try to go and search the cabinet just to see where it kind of goes. Okay. There are cabinets running beneath all the long kitchen counters, and if you're going to try to... I can read. If you are going to find anything useful, that's where it's going to be. You start at the nearest one, pulling open the door after door. Some are empty, others have cooking equipment in them, and supplies to make all the Pizzaplex snacks, like boxes of pizza dough mix. But no matter how many cabinets you search through, you can't find anything that you might use to defend yourself. Gregory should have picked somewhere better to stash you. Then again, you're still not sure he's telling the truth. He is, unfortunately. Maybe this is a prank to
Here's the thing. He's telling at least part of the truth, but we can't be confident that he's telling the full truth. This very much could be his doing somehow.
I wonder almost if this... Here's the thing, the Pizzaplex sending a bot in that just gasses you is crazy. I have a very good feeling that this is not something the Pizzaplex commissioned. I have a very good feeling this is something that likely Vanessa possibly made as a way of getting rid of Gregory. But that then presents the idea that Gregory, even in his possessed state, is still working against whatever Vanessa is trying to do by reprogramming the animatronics, which is interesting. But I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So, then again, you're still not even sure he's telling the truth. Maybe this is a prank too, a bad one where you spend the whole night in the kitchen bored to you freeze as you hear a creaking sound. Crouching down, you watch as the kitchen doors open slowly and a bot rolls in. It's not like any you've ever seen before. It's big, all dark gray metal and blank, buggy eyes that search the kitchen as it moves. Two arms and an end in nozzles. And you see tanks attached to the bot's back. This must be the reagent bot. Gregory was telling the truth. Your heart pounds as the bot moves further into the kitchen. If you stay where you are, it's only a matter of time before it finds you. But you can't run. It would spot you instantly. You look around frantically, trying to find a way out. The cabinet you just searched is almost empty, and you could fit inside, but what if reagent starts looking inside them? Maybe you should crawl along the kitchen counters, trying to make your way through the room to the doors. If you can go to the exit, and you can make a run for it. So if we want to hide in the cabinet, if we want to crawl for the exit, what do we want to do?
Well, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I think that if we try to crawl away, it's gonna see us. I just have a very good feeling about that.
All right.
So I think that we continue to hide, possibly. There's no time to waste. The
Sure,
reagent could spot you at any moment. You climb into the cabinet you just searched, pulling the door closed. In the dark, all you can hear is your heart pounding and the sound of the reagent moving around the kitchen on its search. It must be going up and down the aisles. You hear it draw close, then move further away, then close again, then away, until suddenly everything goes quiet. You wait, ears straining. Minutes pass without any hint of where the reagent is now. You're not sure what to do. Maybe the bot finished searching the kitchen and moved on, but you can't be sure of that. Fear grows pressing on your chest like a heavy weight. If only this was one of Gregory's pranks. You'd welcome a joke, even a bad one right now. Inside the cabinet, everything remains as quiet as a grave. Maybe you should peek out and see if the bot is still there. Then again, if the reagent hasn't left and you open the cabinet, it might see the movement. Staying put might be a better idea. But the longer you do that, the better chance that the reagent might decide to start searching the cabinets. In the stifling dark, neither choice seems like a good one. If you want to peek outside and see if the reagent is gone, if you want to stay in the cabinet. I think we commit, but what's your thoughts?
We commit to staying hidden?
That's what I'm thinking.
You mean?
Yeah.
Sure, we can do that. I feel like we're probably gonna get a game over, but
What page is this?
sure, let's see.
104, okay. Oh, that is true. Alright, there's no way to tell if the reagent is still in the kitchen, so to be on the safe side, you decide to stay hidden within the cabinet. You shift to try not to make any noise as you wait. Minutes tick by. In the dark, with fear gripping you, it's hard to tell how many. The only thing you do know is that you really wish this was one of Gregory's jokes. You'd happily take a prank, even a mean one at this point. Wherever Gregory and Freddy are now, you can only hope that they are working on a way to stop the reagent. If they can't, you may not make it until morning. With every beat of your heart, you expect the door to open up, for the reagent to discover you. But there's nothing. No movement, no sound, until a hiss begins. At first you don't understand what it is. Then the smell hits you, chemical and harsh, burning your nostrils and eyes. This must be the reagent's fumes. It didn't find you, but it sets its chemicals off anyway. Smothered within seconds, you grab for the door, but it's like your body doesn't want to work. Your limbs feel like they are 100 pounds each. You start coughing. It's as if a hand is around your throat, your throat squeezing. A different kind of darkness comes over you, one that drags you down, swirling with vertigo. Somewhere in the distance, outside the cabinet, you think you hear a voice. A familiar voice. Roxy? Then there's nothing. Hold up. Wait a second. What kind of gas is this? Swirling with vertigo.
We don't know.
That drags you somewhere in the distance outside the cabinet. Because here's the thing, right? When you wear the mask, you hear voices. And one of those voices is Roxy's voice. Like in Ruin.
Right.
So is this gas some sort of illusionary gas? Because another thing, I don't think that it would be this violent. But also, the whole idea of reagent is very similar to the way that, like, the entity, like, basically hunts down Cassie. Like, it's drawn to life. And the idea of this thing using some sort of gas in order to, like, and it's interesting that it says, like, a different kind of darkness comes over you, one that drags you down. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's trying to, like, extract your soul in a way, you know. So we were
That's pretty dark, but yeah, it could.
I mean, it could. It's FNAF. So I'm guessing this probably leads to game over 2, but I'm curious.
We can test it, yeah.
Okay. You can't hide in the cabinet forever. You listen again, hoping to hear movement, but everything is still silent. Taking a deep breath, you open the cabinet door, a crack, and try to spot the reagent. You don't have much of a view, though. There's no movement, so if the bot is still around, it must not be looking where you are. You risk pushing the door out a little further and slipping out. Staying in a low crouch, slowly, you peek over the edge of the counter. The reagent is still on the other side. Its head snaps down, eyes zeroing in on you. A scream catches in your throat as the bot raises its arms and points at you. A moment later, gas begins hissing out of the nozzles. Filling the air, a sickening chemical smell overtakes you. You gag and duck behind into the cabinet, pulling it shut. Your eyes and throats burn, and though you pull your shirt up over your nose, the air is already saturated with the reagent's concoction. You decide to try to make a run for the exit, but the moment you move, vertigo seizes you. That's a constant then. You can't seem to make your arms move right. They're too heavy, as if made of lead. And even though the cabinet door is right in front of you, it might as well be on the other side of the Pizzaplex. You're helpless. Suddenly, the cabinet door opens, light flooding in. A hand darts forward, grabbing you, pulling you out, lifting you. You blink, eyes flooded with tears, and briefly you see the face you recognize. Hold on. Roxy. Then everything goes dark. That's... what? Interesting. Okay, so it was Roxy we literally heard. So that wasn't like a weird voice. Unless this is like... interesting. Because once again, we were infected with it, and we see now Roxy. And that leads to Night 4. And that's supposed to happen. So that's interesting. So you are supposed to be infected by this gas. That is canonical.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
So we potentially are not, from this point on, we have an unreliable narrator as a part of this, because it could be affected by the gas. Which is interesting because in Didophobia, this is why I bring this up, because in Didophobia, it was revealed that FNAF 4, the experiments that FNAF 4 was, how to explain this? So basically, William Afton experimented on kids by trapping them in a room that was very much an exact replica of FNAF 4 and filling the room with gas that basically caused you to, like, hallucinatory gas that caused you to see things. And the thing is, illusionary technology has always had a constant of causing headaches and like vertigo, and you see that in Ruin, which is why my mind's immediately connecting these things together. So the idea of, okay, you have smoke, you have this chemical. It's interesting. Okay, so should we go into Night 4? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, sure. I think we're good to go. You basically said all that I've thought.
Okay. This is definitely
Okay.
going once again into a direction I did not expect. Okay, let's see. Cassie? Cassie, wake up. You pull open your eyes. Fear sends you bolting upright, thinking the reagent is still nearby, but once you blink, the sleep from your eyes, you realize what you're seeing is a purple and green light, not the darkness of the kitchen. You're in Roxy's green room, and standing above you, staring down with concern, is Roxy. What? Your mouth is as dry as sand, making it hard to talk, but Roxy's hands you a can of Fizzy Fazz. You sip it slowly, washing away the lingering taste of the reagent's chemicals. Your throat still burns a little, but the drink helps. Thank goodness you finally woke up, Roxy says. Confused, you blink at her, but also you're happy and relieved to see Roxy. You can't help but feel safe around her. What happened?
What happened?
What happened? What did happen? I rescued you from the reagent. Why do they all know about this? What is this thing? So they all know about the reagent. Just like, that's interesting. Roxy steps away, wringing her hands. You inhaled some of the chemicals, but I got to you soon enough. Still, you've been asleep all day. So were they closed? So
I don't know.
where did they put her? Were they hiding her this whole day? Weird. Unless it's not okay. There's a lot of unreliable stuff here. So
Yes.
it's night again? You swallow the last of your soda, trying to process what's happened. Where are
Gregory and Freddy?
Sorry to keep
Did they
stealing your
get
lines.
yeah, it's
Did they
it's
even
okay.
care that the reagent...
I haven't always gone into them at times. Yeah.
No, you're good. Did
Well,
they even...
I think Gregory's perfectly safe to answer her question.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that she cares so much for Gregory, but the only person she's even expressed somewhat of a trust to is Roxy. Like, I honestly, if you just read this book, I would not even be able to tell that Cassie and Gregory were even friends.
Yeah. It's definitely a strange dynamic that it's creating. The reagent thing is interesting. Okay, so you don't like how Roxy glances around uneasily. It deactivated for the day, but now that it's night again, it's going to continue with its programming until all the organic matter in the Pizzaplex is, she pauses, dealt with. After what happened last night, the last thing you want is to be dealt with. If only Freddy had let you leave the other night, you wouldn't be in this mess. And what happened to Gregory? If Roxy hasn't seen him, he might be in trouble, but there's no way you can search for the Pizzaplex for him with the reagent active.
Oh man, it's so cute that Cassie thinks that Gregory is organic matter.
Oh my, that's so funny. That was a good one. That was a good one.
All
Also,
right,
okay.
let's see here.
Let's see. Search the Pizzaplex. Okay, you can go ahead
No, yeah.
if you want to read. Roxy.
No, yeah. So Roxy, I need to leave the Pizzaplex. Will you help me find a way out?
Roxy thinks for a moment, then nods. It's too dangerous for you to be here right now, Cassie. If there's a way to get you out, we'll find it. Security breach
All right.
reference right there. You know that the reagent is out there, but you're not as scared as you were last night, not with Roxy helping you. With her, it feels like you have a chance, but that doesn't mean you don't need to be careful. With the threat of danger still lurking around the Pizzaplex, you're going to have to be smart in order to escape, and not give the reagent a chance to corner you. Let's go. With Roxy on your heels, you start for the door. It'd be a good idea to move slowly, making sure to search as you go. Then again, maybe it would be better to figure out exactly where the reagent is so you can avoid it. There are monitors in the backstage office. If you check there, you might be able to see where the bot is. You glance back at Roxy, who gives you an encouraging smile. You smile back, but even with her backing you up, you're starting to feel vulnerable again. The reagent is really dangerous, and you'd feel better about traversing the Pizzaplex if you had some defense. Except, you're not sure where to look for something like that. The crate you saw earlier in Monty's green room occurs to you. Maybe you should check that one again and see if it has anything that can help you.
Yeah.
No matter what. So we don't
So
have. If we had searched more for items, we'd be able to have some of these things. But we have found nothing except for a screwdriver.
I okay. This is just like a random thought. Okay, but it's talked about defense. Okay, if Cassie got Roxy just Monty claws, do you think she'd be dumb about it like Freddy and be like, "Man, these claws that you upgraded me, they're just like Monty's."
So, can we be real for a
Crazy
second?
how that happens.
This feels like where the book wants to start. Like, this setup right here feels like it's security breach. Like, this with, like, Cassie is now officially trapped. So it feels like, honestly, the first, like, because this is night 4, so this is, like, the first 3 chapters we're setting up the actual game, which is, like, it's now escape the Pizzaplex. Like, you're actually trapped. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
So it feels like this is where it was trying to get to. And now that it's here, it's like, okay, here we go. So, what do we want to do? If we have the executive clearance key card, so we don't have that.
Well, the thing said we want to take our time, so like that's what's if we don't want to get killed. So obviously with just this page, the second one feels like it is the right choice to do because it says take your time, proceed cautiously.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
I guess you could also argue that checking the backstage to check the monitors is also sort of doing that.
We might find
So I'd say
an
it's
item
between
too.
2 or 3.
Let's go for the rule of 3.
Yeah. The rule of 3. Okay.
Hold on. What page is this again? It's 119. Okay. You'd definitely feel more comfortable if you knew exactly where the reagent was. Come on, Roxy. You lead her down the hallway. Let's go to the backstage office and see if you can find anything on the monitors. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Good idea. Roxy agrees, which makes you feel like this is the right decision. In fact, having Roxy with you makes you feel better in general. Maybe someday Roxy will be as good a friend to you as Freddy is to Gregory.
I feel like you already feel like she's a better friend. If you pay attention to how this is written and all, you trust her.
Freddy literally kidnapped you. like, what a great friend.
Yes.
He kidnapped me. Carefully, you make your way to the backstage office and try the door, but it's locked. You try again, confused, since you and Gregory have snuck inside plenty of times, but maybe with the reagent active, security levels are higher in the Pizzaplex.
Roxy, can you open it?
The animatronic shakes her head. Sorry, Cassie, but I don't have access. You need a backstage office keycard to open the door right now. Okay.
Always those darn key cards. Okay.
Well, this is, again, it's feeling a lot more like security breach. If you want to search the hallway carefully before proceeding. So, is this saying that we'll find the pass if we search the hallways? I'm wondering.
I say we should search the hallways. That seems to make sense.
Okay, peeking out of Roxy's green room, you look carefully down the hallway in both directions. So far, so good. The reagent isn't right outside the green room, but for all you know, it could be in around any corner. You take a few steps out, heading down the hallway. Roxy follows you, staying close as you make your way towards the main stage area. But once you are there, you hesitate, unsure where the best way out of the Pizzaplex would be. I need to find the close. You want to read? Sorry, I keep reading your lines.
It's all right. You can go ahead.
Okay. I need.
Yeah.
I need to find the closest exit. You say quietly. mulling your options over. The fastest way would be the front entrance, Roxy says. You should head that way. She's right, but that's also right in the main lobby. So if the reagent is anywhere nearby, it might see or hear you. It's not a bad idea, but you're not sure if it's the smartest one. You wish you knew exactly where the reagent was right now. I don't know. You say, maybe we should head for a less obvious exit like the loading dock. Again, feeling a lot more like security breach here. Roxy puts a hand on your shoulder. It's up to you, Cassie. Whichever way you want to go, I'll go with you and help as much as I can. You smile. Roxy's promise makes you feel safer than you probably are. At the same time, you're not sure which way would give you the best chance of eluding the reagent.
I feel like we're Cassie, right? So we should probably trust Cassie's judgment and go for the loading dock. And also, the main entrance just seems like a death trap.
Yeah. Okay, so head for the loading dock. You don't want to risk running into the reagent as you go through the lobby to the main entrance, so you decide on the loading dock instead, where there are doors, plenty of them, that go outside. It's probably the least likely place for the reagent to be. You head in that direction, Roxy staying close behind you, and you make sure to go slow and check around every corner for the reagent. You see a few security bots making their rounds and some cleaning bots too, but otherwise the Pizzaplex is as empty and quiet as every other night. You wonder where Gregory is right now. Is he still around somewhere? You hope the reagent hasn't found him, or that he and Freddy are figuring out a way to stop it. You reach the stairs that lead down to the loading dock, and pause at the top of them. It's dark below. Really dark. Not the kind of dark you want to be wandering around in. You press the light control, set into the wall, but nothing happens. Roxy tries too. It's not working. Apparently you don't have a choice about the pitch black path ahead. You chew the inside of your lip, nervous, but it's not like the dark can hurt you. You're so close to the exit. You take a deep breath and stand a little straighter.
I feel the dark definitely could hurt us.
It could.
But
if you have a flashlight.
do we have a flashlight?
We do have a flashlight. We got a flashlight.
I feel better about using the flashlight than not using the flashlight.
We don't
if
have
we
a
have
flashlight. Well, okay. If we want to be technical about it, we know where the flashlight is. It's in the vents. If we went down that way, which I guess we could canonically say we have, since technically the Bonnie key didn't really get us much. I mean, that just means we could do whatever we want. Do we want to use the flashlight? Do we want to see what we're coming against? Because I mean, we've been down that path.
I feel like using the flashlight.
Are we cheating here?
It makes more sense to me, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Let's use the flashlight. Okay. You suddenly remember the flashlight you found earlier. Pulling it from your bag, you flick it open. A bright stream of light emanates, strong enough to illuminate the stairs all the way to the bottom. Slowly, you make your way down, Roxy behind you, straining your ears for any sound coming from below. You don't hear anything, but that doesn't mean much. You already know the reagent can be sneaky. Maybe it's lying in wait for you, but hopefully not. You're almost at the bottom of the stairs when you pause. You don't have a great view from here, but you have two options to proceed, left or right. The problem is, you don't know which way would be the quickest route to the exit. You look back at Roxy, but she shrugs. Okay, so where are we?
So we're at the loading dock somewhere, and what would be left and right of that, I do not have enough knowledge of security breach to say. I mean, our country moved further to the right, in 2025. So maybe we follow our country, or maybe we go left.
Dang, that's rather political of you.
Yes, it's political. If it's based on nothing, and I can't, we just have to choose like a dumb reason to like go left or right, which I have no idea why we should choose left or right, because my mental map of security breach is not good enough. Do you know where we are?
Dang, he was like straight up like, hey, we should go based on U.S. politics.
Yes, we should go based on U.S. politics.
I'd rather.
And
you know what?
If it ends in a game over,
just because of that, I'm going left, because I don't want to. I don't want to be political here.
Okay, but that's almost more political if I made it about U.S. politics and then we go to the left or right and it's a game over, then it's
Okay.
then it gets real political.
Calm down, Scott Coffin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right. All right. You creep down the bottom of the stairs using
Be careful
the
who you
flashlight.
donate to.
Oh my goodness. All right. Don't make me put you in timeout now. We're gonna have to calm down now. You came out swinging this string.
It was a deep cut reference.
That was a deep cut reference. I guess controversial deep cut reference of FNAF.
Yes.
Great. Just what we needed for this stream.
Oh,
Okay.
obviously.
You
Wouldn't
creep
have
down.
it any other way.
You
Okay.
You creep down the. I'm trying to. I'm trying to move on, Dan. Come on. You creep down to the bottom of the stairs using the flashlight. You illuminate the area to the left of them, sweeping carefully through the dark space, crowded with all sorts of crates and boxes. At first, everything looks clear. Then suddenly, you see a bit of movement in the distance. You train the flashlight on it and then immediately pull the light away. It's the reagent. It's sweeping the loading dock area. Unfortunately, it doesn't see you. Roxy, it's down there, you whisper, pushing past her. We have to get out of here. As quickly and quietly as you can, you run back up the stairs and into the main area of the Pizzaplex. Panicking, you don't pay close attention to where you are headed. You just want to put as much distance between you and the reagent as possible. Cassie, Roxy calls out after you. Slow down, wait. You finally slow your steps, allowing Roxy to catch up as you two make your way to the prize counter. But before she can say anything else, you spot something else. Gregory and Freddy. You start to cry out to Gregory, but pause. Something strange is going on. Gregory and Freddy appear to be having a heated conversation, though you can't hear what they're saying. All you know is that Freddy is looking increasingly angry. Suddenly, Freddy raises his arms, claws out, and grabs Gregory. Cassie, don't look. Roxy throws a hand over your eyes so you don't see what happens, but you do hear the noise Gregory makes, one that twists your stomach into a knot. When you manage to pull Roxy's hand away, a terrible sight awaits you. Freddy holding a now limp Gregory. Your friend is dead. What? You managed to stop your... What?
Your friend is dead? Wow.
What is this? Oh, this is the gas. 100% this is the freaking gas. Freddy's head snaps in your direction. He spots you, baring his teeth.
Wait a second. This Gregory isn't a robot. He's a ghost.
Dang, that would be insane.
Security breach never happened. It was all the hallucinations of a dying Gregory.
You know, that would be actually
trying to escape the reagent.
Okay, you say that right, but also, hold on. This isn't a game over, is it? No, it's this freaking isn't a game over. This is probably not canonical, right? Like, there's no way. Your friend is dead. You managed to stop your scream from coming out of full force, but a strangled squeak, or this is another prank. Run, you yell to Roxy. She obeys, following you, but you don't know which way to go. You could run to Roxy's green room and barricade the door, or for the main entrance, which is probably the way you should have gone in the first place. Oh, so it's telling us that's the canonical area. You can also try to make a stand if only Roxy was equipped to deal with Freddy. If you want to retreat to Roxy's green room, if you want to reign... Okay, so in this path, Gregory freaking dies.
Allegedly.
And Freddy is now chasing us. Okay, allegedly, but also the way it's... Yeah, Roxy also closes her eyes, but also it's implied that something brutal happened where, like... I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to think.
Yeah,
Greatly exaggerated. That's funny. If you want to retreat to Roxy's green room, if you want to reign to... Do we want to... Wait. Oh my
wait
goodness.
a second. What? Do you... I made that joke earlier.
Wait, you were actually right. It was Monty's claws. Oh, that's so good.
I okay. Audience, if you accuse me of pre-watching, I definitely did not make it to this part.
That
The
was
whole
a
Monty
that
Claw
was a
comment was
bear
just like
trap moment.
a random.
You just had like
Okay, well,
okay.
Roxy definitely doesn't have Monty's claws. I want to see how she reacts to getting Monty's claws. If she's like if she is like Freddy, I feel like she'd be a little.
So wait,
Well, that
this
definitely didn't
means
happen, so that would be cheating. But
okay. So
somehow we
retreat
can get Monty's
to
claws.
if you want to run to the main entrance probably, or retreat to Roxy's green room. Maybe retreat.
Well, yeah, I'd say retreat to Roxy's green room. That makes sense since we're
Okay.
a Roxy stan.
Almost too scared to think, you bolt back in the direction of the green rooms. Roxy is on your heels, but you can hear Freddy behind her, getting closer with every passing second. He's snarling and making weird noises. Is this what happened to Monty? Was Gregory playing around with his programming too, and maybe mess something up? There's no way to know. Not now, when Gregory is. You can't think about it. Focusing on running, you make it back to the stage area and into Roxy's green room. She follows you in and shuts the door, locking it. And not a moment too soon, the whole room seems to shudder as Freddy collides with the exterior of the door. You scream, unable to stop yourself, and retreat back from the door. What's wrong with Freddy? You shudder as Gregory's screams echoes in your ears. Why did he do that? I don't know. Roxy winces as Freddy collides with the door again. Let me in, Freddy roars.
Yeah.
The next time Freddy hits the door, it
So-
begins to splinter around the edges. Yeah.
So, okay, it does have to be acknowledged that I'd say in this path, Gregory is actually canonically dead, and the reason why I would say that is because even if we're hallucinating, there would be no reason for Roxy to be hallucinating,
There's actually a really good
right?
reason. Because Roxy's eyes
Oh,
are
glitch trap?
literally designed to see an AR.
Oh, okay.
But also, I don't know, maybe true. Also, the fact that there's just a canonical ending where Roxy just like breaks Freddy is crazy. Okay, so your heart drops. There's not much time before Freddy breaks through. You look around, but there's nowhere to go. Only you spot a vent up in the corner of the room. Roxy, you cry out, pointing, help me up there. So also, if this leads to night 5, that means canonically Gregory dies. So this has to end
Yes.
like all endings. Or I will lose my mind. Okay, so your heart drops. There's not much time before Freddy breaks through. You look around, but there's nowhere to go. Okay, I already read that. Roxy hoists you up. You grab the edges of the opening, trying to pull yourself up. Behind you, the door explodes inward, and Freddy bursts in, growling as he lunges for you. He shoves Roxy aside, and you fall to the floor. Suddenly above you, there's nothing but teeth. You throw your hands over your eyes and scream, but nothing happens. Laughter slowly fills the room. When you look up again, Freddy's chest is open and Gregory is crouched in there alive and laughing his head off. Freddy is joined in. An anger surges through you as you realize they've pulled another prank. But then you look at Roxy and your heart drops. She's laughing too. Your anger fizzles, dampened by embarrassment and rising feeling of betrayal. This was all a joke. You say, hardly able to speak. Gregory, I thought you were dead. And Roxy, you knew? Roxy stops laughing. Gregory said you like to be scared. So I helped him scare you. You ball your hands into a fist, wanting to yell at Gregory to chew him out for his mean prank. Instead, you say nothing more and run away. I am so freaking confused.
This? Okay. First off, okay,
Man, Gregory should be a YouTuber with like the pranks he's trying to pull. Cause man,
So
I
The
don't know. This is
reagent,
like giving the
though.
same
Okay.
energy of like a prank. Like, did you ever see that one YouTuber who got canceled because they did a prank where they were like, "I get kidnapped, I prank my friend," you know? And it's
This
like obviously way too far.
this isn't real,
What
though.
what on earth?
This isn't real, though.
Okay. Do you think it's all like
This is all under the gas's
go on?
influence. That is here because the reason I say this, it's the same trick. The gas, historically, the AR mask and the gas, all the illusionary stuff pulls from memory. So my brain immediately is like, it's the same scenario, and that's weird. Okay, but you know
Yeah,
what? Let's just
that is a
tap
little bit
here.
strange, but I don't know where it's going.
Okay, night 5, final. I have. This is like I actually kind of love this book because I have no freaking clue where it's going. It is insane to I think maybe the right degree. It's not like I wouldn't say it's hokey like Return to the Pit was with its whole like we need to gather the Avengers, Gregory. You know, like it's not like that level of cringe. It's more just
Yeah.
like bonkers, absurd, very interesting. That prompts a lot of questions for me. Absurdist is kind
I
of the
don't
word.
I don't
Okay.
know what to even make of everything going on.
Well, we'll see. It's almost nighttime again. You only know that because of the tiny windows in the supply closet where you've been hiding all day. Where's your parents? Where's your dad? Your dad's a technician. He hasn't worried about you, where you are.
No, no. The technician is dead for sure.
But like,
He's in Help 1 at 2.
no. I know, but like at this
That's where
point,
he is right now.
canonically, would he be there at this point? Because I don't know.
Maybe.
Because Ruin presents it that like he left a note. Is he that distant? Is this like a Henry situation where he kind of like just lets his daughter do whatever, or I don't know. Then again, I guess Cassie does have a lot of similarities with Charlie. Okay, let's. I don't even know. Okay, now those vibrant hues are almost gone, leaving you in the dark again. Soon the Pizzaplex will be closed, and here you still are, crying and feeling bad for yourself after what happened last night. Gregory's behavior, you understand, his sense of humor has always been dark, even dangerous. And even though you're still furious with him over playing so many mean pranks on you, that's how he is. It's Roxy's betrayal that really stings. After she saved your birthday party, you really thought she was nice and kind, and that she'd never play such a mean prank on you. But she did, and it hurts. You shift in place, your arms and legs stiff from being hidden away all day. You thought about leaving, but the last thing you wanted was to run into Gregory or Freddy, or worse, Roxy. Well, you did, so instead you spent the whole day locked away in here, alone, letting your tears flow. You wipe your eyes for the 100th time, hoping that wherever Gregory is, he feels guilty at least, a little. But you doubt it. Tap, tap. You turn your head towards the sound, which seems to be coming from the door to the storage room. Tap, tap, tap. This time you know you heard it. Cassie, you're surprised to hear Roxy's voice. Are you in there? You frowned. Go away. I don't want to play any more games. I'm not playing any games, Roxy says. I promise. Please open the door. It's important. You want to ignore her, but the pleading sound in her voice gives you an achy feeling in your chest. So you give in, giving over and letting her in. The animatronic nearly fills the small closet, but Roxy has a look on her face that makes her seem smaller than usual somehow. I'm sorry, Roxy says quickly, about last night. You look away, unable to believe her. Did Gregory tell you to say that? Pretend to be regretful so you can lure me for another one of your games? Roxy shakes her head. No, Cassie, I shouldn't have known. I should have known what happened wouldn't be fun for you. But I didn't. She pauses. And I'm not sure why. That's got you That gets you interested. You look back at Roxy. What do you mean? Also, why is Roxy's speech pattern so human?
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
why is Roxy so like it was kind of that way in Ruin too. Where
Yeah, you are
Roxy
right. It kind of was.
whenever Roxy was talking to Cassie, talking about her birthday party, is Roxy possessed? At least like
Possibly.
post security breach, because Roxy never speaks in the clear patterns in Ruin. I don't know. I don't want to go down that track unless I get more evidence of it. But like that's just really interesting. Mimic One also has a distinct tone of being able to speak in clear, like unbroken language. That's what like a specific thing about it. So that's also interesting to note. Oh, interesting. Okay, keep going because I'm seeing something very interesting. Okay, Roxy shifts from one foot to another.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, only that I don't think I'm acting normal. Something is off. Some
This
of your
is
sadness recedes, replaced by intrigue. Roxy, have you scanned your programming lately? Roxy shakes her head. No, I haven't. But that is a good idea. Please wait. A moment later, Roxy's face goes blank as the animatronic begins an internal scan. You
Oh,
wait
this
patiently
is
for a few
very
moments until
creepy.
her features brighten again. Immediately she frowns. Oh no, Cassie, you're right. My programming has been tampered with. By Gregory. She nods. Yes, he's altered it so that I would assist him in his prank last night. But I found something else too. She pauses. Something much, much worse. Knowing how dark Gregory's humor has gotten, you aren't sure you want to hear what's coming, but you have to know. What did Gregory do to Roxy? He's altering my program so that I will turn on you, Cassie, and attack you. A shiver runs over your skin. When?
Wow.
Roxy hesitates for a moment. Soon. Anger and fear flash, chasing away the last of your sadness, but it's followed by a sudden resolve. You're tired of Gregory's cruel games. So is that what Reagent is? Is Reagent like kind of testing a fully done version of that program?
Yeah, but what I don't understand is that on night 2, right? We specifically Gregory didn't want us to get hurt. So
Well, it
what's
stopped
going
him.
on?
It stopped him. It's an interesting idea that he wants us to be scared. Is this possible agony collection? I mean, is he trying to, in essence, harvest our fear? I know that sounds weird, but like that isn't an unusual thing in this franchise. That's not a new concept. That he's like basically
Yeah.
creating intense emotions in us that potentially is then infecting the animatronics. I don't know. Unless Roxy is lying, which is would be weird. Let's see. Come on.
That would be very strange.
Okay,
But
I'm not going to let that. But again, it's the idea of like Roxy is speaking in like very clear, like unbroken language. So something weird's going on. I'm not going to let that happen. You stand again, pushing past Roxy and heading to the door. Also, the fact that Cassie knew this going into Ruin doesn't make sense. Something has to happen to where it's like Gregory's like, oh no, this isn't true. All of this is so weird in context of Ruin and Security Breach. Okay.
none of it makes sense.
There's
But the secret sixth night will explain everything.
There's a twist coming, I have a feeling. Okay, anger and fear flash, chasing away the last of your sadness, but it's followed by a sudden resolve. You're tired of Gregory's cruel games, but he's not the only one who knows how to reprogram the animatronics.
Oh, really?
Really? I'm not going to let that happen.
That's
You stand again, pushing past Roxy and heading to the door. Come on, if we can get you to a main computer terminal, I can get into your code and fix what Gregory changed. Roxy doesn't...
Okay, so this is definitely interesting. So I guess we would have found out that she had this ability earlier on had we gotten the Monty Clause, as I guess you could have also
Yeah. No, that's true.
done it there.
That's interesting. Okay.
This is strange.
Roxy doesn't move, but Cassie, I'm not sure where the reagent is. Wait, what? Roxy doesn't move, so the reagent's still in play here. It might still be active in the Pizzaplex. Whatever Gregory has done to Roxy, there's no time to waste in undoing it. But Roxy has a point. If the reagent is still around, you need to be careful. Part of you wants to make a run for the main computer as fast as possible, but the cautious part of you say you should move slower, taking your time to make sure if the reagent isn't around. You want to cautious? Okay. Do we want to be cautious?
What is your thinking?
I wouldn't mind being cautious. I think that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I'd say being cautious does make sense. Making a run for it, we might get caught and very quickly end up in the ground.
Okay, let's see. With the reagent still possibly active out there, you don't want to risk barreling through the Pizzaplex and running into it. You don't want to risk So with Roxy close behind, you carefully open the door to the storage room. You search both ways, but don't see anything concerning. Keeping quiet, you move out into the hallway, making your way towards the main computer room. The Pizzaplex seems quieter than usual and darker. You realize, especially when you reach the lobby area, most of the neon lights have gone out, leaving only a handful to illuminate your way. You look questioningly to Roxy, but she only shrugs. Is this Gregory's work? Or something to do with the reagent's mission? You don't have time to ponder this. Suddenly there's a bit of quick movement in the distance. You freeze. What was that? I don't know, whispers Roxy. You see it again, barely visible in the light, a dark shape like a moving shadow. Maybe it's only a cleaning or a security bot, but you're too afraid to get closer in case it spots you or it's something more dangerous. Maybe we should wait until it's gone, Roxy suggests. However, the longer you wait, the less time you have to undo Roxy's programming. Before she turns on you, if only the lights were working normally, or if you had a flashlight, you could see what it is from here. If you have a flashlight. We do. We decided we did.
Yes, of course.
You pull out the flashlight from the bag and flick it on.
Yes, we did.
Shining the beam in the direction of the shape to your relief, it's only a cleaning bot, which ignores you and continues along its mission. You turn off the flashlight and gesture to Roxy to keep moving, making your way into the lobby and the bottom of the stairs. You pause there, unsure of whether to proceed. The dark seems even heavier here, somehow, even with a handful of the neon signs still lit, and you can't see what's above. If you make your way up the stairs, and something is at the top, it might spot you before you have a chance to spot it. You consider the flashlight again, afraid that if you use it too much, something will see the beam and come investigate. But at the same time, if it will help you see the reagent and give you a chance to retreat, maybe you should. Interesting, we're playing like this game with the flashlight. Let's see, you take a deep breath, having trouble deciding. Besides you, Roxy seems to be growing impatient. Is that because she doesn't know what to do either, or is she anxious about the ticking clock of Gregory's rogue programming? The only thing you're sure of is that the longer you take to decide, the more likely it is that she'll turn on you. Do we want to use the flashlight again?
I'd say it has said that, we have a ticking time clock. Maybe we should just bolt for it now, since we've already gone a little bit slow. But I'll leave it up to you.
I want to say, the thing is, if we don't use the flashlight and there's something there, then us proceeding the stairs is gonna kill us. But if we don't, I understand the ticking time clock, but I wonder if there's how urgent it actually is. I don't know. I would say let's use the flashlight. Just see. Okay. Use the flashlight again is risky, but so is trying to traverse the stairs in the dark. You flick the light on, sweeping the beam across the steps. As you carefully make your way up, you don't only trust your eyes, you also keep your ears open, listening for any sound of movement that don't belong to you or Roxy. Behind you, Roxy sticks close, only moving when you do. You make it to the top of the stairs and shine your light around again. But the main stage area appears to be deserted. You don't see so much as a cleaning bot at work. Relieved, you let out the breath you've been holding. Maybe after 2 nights of seeking and destroying organic material, the reagent has finally finished its assignment and gone back into storage. You cross your fingers, hoping that that's the case. You start towards the main computer room again, but you only get a few steps before you realize that Roxy isn't keeping up. She's still behind you, but moving slower than usual, her head hanging low. Roxy? You ask, worried. Is something wrong? Slowly, Roxy raises her head. I think so, Roxy. I don't feel so good. Oh, no. Is it Gregory's programming? She nods. I don't think I have much time left. You tense. If time is running out, you should make a run for the computer room and try to deprogram Roxy before whatever Gregory did fully kicks in. But you don't know for sure that the reagent is gone. If you aren't careful, you could run into it around in a corner. Roxy lets out a little groan, and you know you need to make a decision fast. So I guess we should run for it. Right?
Yeah, we probably should run for it. That definitely seems like it.
There's no time to waste. Whatever Gregory did.
Or we could get the game over from being cautious.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That is true. We might have gotten that. Okay. There's no time to waste. Whatever Gregory did is clearly beginning to affect Roxy, which means you need to get her to the main computer terminal as quickly as possible. Also, this in relation to security breach is fascinating. Specifically in how Freddy acts throughout the game, because this is almost exactly how he acted. Because there was just a sudden moment when he got to Roxy's raceway where he just collapses because he didn't get to a charging station in time. And there's just a random moment where you collect something and then suddenly he's back and operational. There's so many weird times where the animatronics just weirdly get degraded for seemingly no reason. So it's having this, it makes you wonder. It's okay, is this Glitch Trap's doing? Is this the Mimic? What's happening? Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's happening here. This is just so confusing.
Let's say you take off run, turning off the flashlight. You may not have time to be cautious, but that doesn't mean you should be foolish and let yourself be spotted by any bot that might be roaming around. You run through the Pizzaplex, determined to let Gregory get the best of you this time, and not to let his programming take Roxy away from you. Now that you know she's on your side and only participated in Gregory's pranks because he made her, you can't let that stand. You push yourself a little harder, but the moment you do, your foot comes down on something. Ah! You feel a crunch, followed by a stab of pain. You flail and fall, landing hard on the Pizzaplex floor. Cassie, are you okay? Roxy rushes to your side, but it's too late. You are definitely not okay. There's just enough light for you to see an empty, crushed can of Sodaroni lying nearby. But it's your ankle that's concerning you right now. It hurts a lot. When you're trying to get up, you stumble. I think I sprained it. Oh no, Roxy helps lift you. Can you keep going? Lean against me, I'll help you. There's urgency in her voice, which gives you the motivation to get up again, using Roxy to steady yourself. You hobble along like that, praying that the reagent doesn't come along, rolling along. You'll never outrun it now. Hold on. Gotta take a drink of water.
Ooh, okay. Yes, I'm getting nervous that we aren't gonna make it.
Spoilers, I don't think we are. Okay, Roxy stops. Come on, you urge. It's only a little further, you can make it. But Roxy doesn't move. Slowly, her head turns your way, her eyes meeting yours. They aren't the kind eyes that looked at you a few minutes ago. These eyes you don't recognize at all. It's Gregory's programming, you realize. A cold feeling slithering into your stomach. It's kicked in fully. Roxy bares her teeth, then she attacks. That's kind of a dropped ending.
Oh, yeah, that's well,
Interesting. Okay. What was the last page we were on? I'm guessing it was this one. Okay, so I guess we should run at some point. Or we should be cautious, I guess.
yeah. I guess we could be cautious because we did make a run for it, but
Well, I
don't
guess
know.
it's being cautious at the right moment.
Yeah.
Let's just try this, I guess. Okay. Even with Roxy beginning to feel weird, you can't risk attracting the attention of the reagent if it's still around. You keep moving, Roxy staying close behind you as you creep through the Pizzaplex, keeping your eyes peeled for any hint of movement. Fortunately, the whole place seems even more deserted than usual. You can't hear anything either, only the faint tread of your steps as you make your way to the main computer room. Finally, you reach it, pushing open the door and closing it behind you. You let out a breath, relieved. Cassie, Roxy said suddenly, look. You follow where she's pointing to one of the monitors mounted on the wall, which shows the reagent, but it's not moving and seems to be back in the storage area. Another wave of relief flows over you. The reagent has been deactivated. Excellent, you crow when you head for the computer terminal. All we need to do now is undo Gregory's programming and everything will be back to normal. Roxy gets queasy look on her face. I think you should hurry with that. I'm not sure how much longer I have. You indicate one of the control panels. Interface there, and don't worry. Indicate one of the control panels. Interface there, and don't worry, I've got this. Roxy does as she's instructed, and you begin rifling through her protocols, looking for one that Gregory messed with. Gregory is smart, but so are you, and you find it quickly. You bring out the code up on the screen, ready to fix it, but the moment you do, the screen suddenly shifts, and a question appears. Rock, paper, or scissors? What? You frowned. Leave it to Gregory to turn even this into a game.
Oh, man.
Which one should you pick?
Gregory was watching Squid Game season 2. Okay.
Also, I love the fact that this is a kid's game. Because the actual mini game for reprogramming Freddy was Simon Says in Security Breach.
Yeah, I feel like... I mean, it's a 50-50 chance. But I feel like a lot of people choose rock whenever they do their first hand, since it's like the default thing that you have on your hand. So I feel like paper is a more solid choice to start a game with. Because I don't think too many people start with scissors if it's just round 1, right?
Why is scissors not... Oh, scissors is an option. Okay.
So scissors isn't an option? Yeah.
I think,
it is. Okay.
I think it would
No,
be...
I'd say paper would be like the most natural thing, because a lot of people will default on rock since it's what your hand's motion is already.
Imagine if this is just another prank.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't think it is, but okay. You said paper, or what was that?
Yeah, paper. Paper.
Okay. Nope. You remember playing rock, paper, scissors with other kids in the past, but unlike those games, there's no one else with you here. Hand out, ready to throw their choice, unless you count the absent Gregory. Leave it to him to turn this into a game as well. Thinking carefully, you finally decide paper. You respond and hit the submit key. A moment later, the computer screen goes dark. The computer is still on, but there's nothing to see. And tapping the key on the keyboard doesn't do anything. You let out a noise of frustration. When you find Gregory, you're going to give him a piece of your mind. He might think this is funny, but he's the only one laughing. I can't tell if it worked, you say, but Roxy doesn't respond. Roxy? You turn, do you feel any Behind you, the Roxy you knew is gone. A wild-eyed, snarling animatronic wolf is standing in her place, staring at you like you're a piece of fresh meat. Roxy, you stutter, a cold bead of sweat running down your back. Roxy, can you hear me? Still, she says nothing, only glares at you with blood-red eyes. Those eyes are the last thing you see before she lunges for you. Okay.
Okay. So, if it's not paper...
I think rock. Or maybe these
Rock,
are
sure.
all... Let's see.
I mean, Moana 2 did come out, so...
You hit that...
It would be funny if all of them led to death, yes. But...
Okay. I hate that Gregory has turned this into a game, too, but you don't have time to figure out a way around it. Paper, scissors, you consider all the options, but Roxanne Wolf doesn't play with paper or scissors. Roxanne Wolf likes to rock. You type the answer into the computer terminal and press the key to submit it. The screen flickers for a moment, then goes dark. Did it work? You wonder aloud. Then a spray of colors appear on the monitor, fireworks exploding a variety of vibrant hues. A pair of words appear in the midst. Good choice. You did it, cries Roxy. Something has shifted in my program. Whatever Gregory did, it's undone. What? I'm not going to turn on you anymore. That's strange. That's not how that works. You lean back, thank goodness, but your celebration is short-lived. Suddenly, an alert pops up on your computer screen, a warning that flashes red. What the heck? You lean close again as the camera view appears on the computer. You recognize it in a heartbeat. It's the reagent in the storage room. But as you watch it, it comes back to life. Arms flailing briefly before it starts rolling again. Quickly, with a purpose, it disappears from camera view. New mission, the word pops up on the screen as red as blood. Sole target, and then Cassie. Your picture appears on the monitor, a red X plastered across it. Oh no, you cry. That's not good, said Roxy. It's not going to stop until it finds you, Cassie. You're not going to let it get you easily. Roxy, can you help me now? If we can find a way to stop the reagent or destroy it, I can escape. Roxy puts an arm on your shoulder. Anything you need, Cassie, I've got your back. You swell with hope and pride as you consider how to stop the reagent and foil its newly assigned mission. Roxy might be able to stand up to the bot if she was equipped properly, but you can also try luring the reagent somewhere that gives you a chance to deal with it. The main lobby, the kitchen, Roxy Raceway, a number of options occur to you. But one thing is clear, you need to confront the reagent and destroy it before it can destroy you.
Well, Roxy's definitely not equipped with Monty Claus, so, that's off the table.
Yeah. I am so freaking confused, man.
Well, first off, okay. Cassie is a lot nicer than me, because if I could reprogram, I would have changed her programming to target Gregory. You know, instead of just taking me off the bad list.
She didn't freaking reprogram anything. Roxy just says you did it. Good choice. You picked the right decision, and
yeah.
And then it activated the kill switch on Cassie, which is crazy.
Yeah, I really don't know what we should do here. Maybe we should lure it.
Do we want to lure it to Roxy's Raceway? That feels proper, because then we can run it over with the go-kart.
Yeah, we could do that. That makes sense. That's like insecurity breach.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is crazy. I'm conflicted on how I feel about the decisions being made. But I'm not sure if this is the canonical route. Okay. You need to deal with the reagent once and for all. There must be a way to defeat it before it has a chance to try to decontaminate you. Again, you think you know the best place to try to do that. Roxy Raceway. Where better to team up with Roxy and corner the bot than her own turf. You watch the monitor, keeping track of the bot's movements as you ponder the best way to do what you need to do. Meanwhile, Roxy waits patiently beside you for orders. Okay, you say finally, here's what we're going to do. Here I am. You stand in the main stage area, spinning around and feeling a little silly as you yell and make a bunch of noise. Here I am, a containment, come and get me. You feel silly, but you're also scared. The last thing you wanted after the reagent cornered you. What, did I miss something?
Yeah, I didn't feel like we were cornered, but
I thought it was just it
thought we
alerted,
were
but
in the monitor room. Okay.
yeah.
You feel silly, but you're also scared. The last thing you wanted after the reagent cornered you in the kitchen was to come face to face with it again. And here you are, trying to get its attention. Come and clean me up. I'm right here. Your heart jumps as you hear something somewhere in the low lights. It's hard to see what might be approaching you. You scan the area for any hint of movement. There, a dark form rolls into view, an outline that sends a cold shiver down your spine. The reagent. The moment it spots you, it freezes and lets out an angry screech. It starts to raise its nozzles, but you turn and run, not waiting around to see more as you hoped and feared. The reagent immediately pursues you. Your sneakers slap against the floor and the Pizzaplex as you reach the entrance to Roxy's raceway and bolt through it. Unfortunately, the reagent is gaining faster than you expected. It's on your heels as you reach the stairs nearby, tumbling down them as you make your way to the raceway floor. Roxy, get ready, you yell. You reach for the floor and head across it to the track, climbing onto it. But you can only make it a few more steps before the reagent catches up to you. It surges past you, coming around to block your way, raising its nozzles menacingly. A moment later, a go-kart collides with it. I can't believe I actually.
Yes,
freaking,
it's a reference.
It's a reference. There's
It's
a
a security
vicious
breach.
crashing sound of metal against metal, and the reagent goes flying, landing hard, and skidding to the stop further down the tracks. Pulling the go-kart to one side of the track, Roxy looks back at you. Is it dead? The reagent isn't moving. I'm not sure, you say. Cautiously, you approach the mangled bot, but that was, until a moment ago, the reagent. It moves suddenly, causing you to jump back. The bot is damaged, but unfortunately not destroyed. You can see it, trying to raise its nozzles to point at you, which means you need to think fast. A panel on the reagent's front has been smashed open, revealing its internal boards and wiring. If you had something to stab into its circuit board, that would probably take care of it, or maybe ripping its wires out would be good enough. Either way, you need to work fast. If we have a screwdriver, we do have a screwdriver. We got that.
Yeah, okay, well, let's use the screwdriver.
Oh, we got
Seems
the
like
end.
it'll be more effective, maybe.
Working quickly, you fumble through your bag, pulling out the screwdriver you found. Below you, the reagent is jerking and sparking, still determined to complete its mission despite being heavily damaged. You dodge a swinging appendage, stabbing out with the screwdriver. The metal tip connects with one of the circuit boards, snapping it free. The reagent shudders but keeps moving. There's a burbling sound in its chemical tanks. You know you don't have long. You stab with the screwdriver again and again until the reagent's innards are so smashed up it looks more like a pile of trash than the insides of a mechanical creature. Finally, with one last spasm, the reagent goes still. Is it destroyed? Roxy comes up beside you, still wary. You take a deep breath and let it out. I think so. Phew, Roxy smiles warmly at you. That was close. It sure was. Now, okay, what's the fastest way out of here? As tempting as it is to stay with Roxy, now that the reagent lies still, you've had enough of the Pizzaplex for a while. I know an exit in the back of the raceway, says Roxy. Follow me. She leads you to a door with a bright red exit sign above it. When you try it, it opens. The reagent's programming may have kept the Pizzaplex in lockdown, but that's over now. You were brave. You were very brave tonight, Roxy says, looking a little sad that you're leaving. So were you, you smiled at the animatronic wolf. Don't worry, Roxy, I'll be back soon. With that, you push the door open, taking a deep breath of the cool night air as you walk out of the Pizzaplex alive. That's not the canonical ending. That is the end.
Yes, that is an ending. That is an ending that answers almost nothing.
That ending sucked. Gosh, that's stupid.
Um,
You just
it's one of those things where we don't know what's going on with Gregory. We don't know what's going on with Freddy.
that
Just
I feel
just
unsatisfied.
ends.
I don't know how to. I don't know what is happening. Why is this? I
Yeah, that I don't know.
I I don't. I mean, I get it. I don't get it. I'll be back soon. So like, okay, Cassie
I
cannot
well,
villainize Gregory canonically. That
yeah, it doesn't make sense because she wouldn't be so friendly. Um,
so my guess is that
unless
there's a route.
unless I guess you could say this could make sense because maybe she left Gregory to die in some way or form, and then she feels guilty about it and comes
No,
back to the Pizzaplex for ruin.
no, I don't. I don't think so.
It definitely recontextualizes ruined, but
Yeah, it's that's interesting. Okay, so you have the whole thing with like Night Fives. The whole thing is like Roxy is like, oh, there's okay. So can we go back to? Well, here's a question, right? Okay, there was a bunch of things that we missed a lot, so there's still a lot of this book to go through. Um,
yeah.
what do we want to do? Do we want to try to find the
Well,
canonical ending?
we could try. We could try. I'm guessing it's something to do with being very aggressive with Monty Claus.
I would say I have a feeling that probably so like night one we've explored most everything to do with night one. I think.
So there was
Um,
probably something in Night 2 where you could get Monty's claws,
yeah, I
right? Because that
have.
was the Monty Day.
I think that I'm wondering too. Okay, if
We could also
we.
just cheat.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking of. Like, we could just literally cheat and just see what the game, like, what the book has to offer. So this is night one.
Which I'm
Um,
not necessarily against that. I don't know
I
what
just
her
want to know
ethics
what
on
the
it
heck.
are,
I
but
just
I'm
want to
not
know what the
necessarily.
heck is going
Yeah.
on. To be honest, at this point, so like night one has pretty much like all of the same endings. I'm pretty sure we got all of the main like items except for I think that in the stall for like one of the bathrooms there was like the hairpin. I think I saw that somewhere because we got that.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure we're not missing anything night one. No, it doesn't look like we are. Cause so that's basically kind of like set in stone. Um so then we have night two. Which starts and it's also interesting. Okay, so I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, night two, here we are. So I did Bonnie Bowl. Oh, we didn't even go anywhere besides Bonnie Bowl. Um, we could go to Monty Gators Golf. Go hide in the backstage
Yeah,
office.
we could.
So let's just see. Okay, so night two, we're hiding from Monty. Um, so let's just say we go here. You bet Monty's Gators Golf is so much better is a so much better place to hide than the bowling area or backstage office area. And you prove it by winning the game of hide and seek. You pass by the green room again. Roxy isn't around, and your heart sinks a little. You miss her. Maybe once a game of hide and seek is over, Gregory will help you find her. but that's a plan for later. Right now, you need to focus on finding the best place to hide in Gator Golf, and proving that Gregory isn't always as clever as he thinks he is. You make your way to the golf course through the lobby, passing beneath its weird decorations on the ceiling. On one hand, you like Gator Golf's tropical theme, with all its fake palm trees and vines draped everywhere. Everywhere. On the other hand, the fake rivers with their real water always makes this area smell a little, well, swampy. But it's dark and twisted and enough like a bayou that you know there are plenty of great places to hide. You pause just inside, debating whether to head down to the actual golf course or check out the snack bar to see if there are any good spots there. The golf course is big, with more nooks and crannies, but the snack bar might have snacks. And that sounds pretty great if you're going to be hiding from Monty for a while. Do we want snacks?
Sure.
So let's go to the snack bar. You don't know how long you'll have to hide, so you might as well pick somewhere with snacks. You enter the snack bar, passing the empty tables and going over to the ordered counter. Like the mini golf course, everything here is Monty themed with images of the rock and roll alligator everywhere, awash in green and purple lighting. There's fake greenery scattered about as well, though nothing big enough to hide it behind. There are the counters and the kitchen, though both of which look promising. Maybe in the kitchen you can cook yourself up an order of swamp fries on the menu, which you hope are more appetizing than they sound. Except you don't know how long a head start Monty's giving you. Gregory is probably hiding already, and you don't want to give him the satisfaction of being caught before you've even had a chance to hide. But the area seems empty for the moment, so maybe you have a few minutes to explore the snack bar further.
It does sound funny to just, be like, I'm just hungry. I'm grabbing a snack.
Yeah, I'm just hungry. Okay. Oh, here we get the food service key. Okay, you can't resist... my voice is getting a little strained. Okay. You can't resist the temptation to check out the snack bar further. Going around the counter, you peek into the kitchen area behind the snack bar. To your disappointment, there's nothing very interesting. The usual food production machines all shut down for the night. The only place to hide in here would be the industrial-sized fridge. And you don't feel like being cold while Monty searches for you. Giving up, you start to go back out in the front counter when something on the floor catches your eye. The edge of a card is sticking out from beneath one of the prep tables. You pick it up. It's a food service key card. Doesn't seem like it would do much good for you in Gator Golf, but you keep it anyway, adding it to the bag in case it will come in handy later. Then you push through the kitchen area door, going back to the front counter. Immediately, you freeze. There are noises approaching and a chafing sound that can only be Monty himself. You have to hide quick. There aren't many options. The best you can see that's quick and close is the snack bar counter. Not a great spot, but you don't have a choice. Monty's getting nearer. You duck beneath it as the footsteps approach, wedging yourself in among the shelves of snacks as quietly as possible. Monty is extremely close now. You can hear the heavy tread of his steps, but you can't see anything from behind the counter. Even eventually, you can hear muttering too. Definitely Monty's voice, but you can't make out what he's saying, only that it sounds odd. After a minute or so, Monty seems to move on. It gets quiet again, at least as quiet as the Gator Golf ever is. You almost wish Monty would do something loud so you'd know if he's still close. Your hiding place isn't exactly comfortable, and if he's gone, it might be a good idea to find a better one. So we can add the service key card to our inventory. There it is. So stay hidden under the snack bar counter. If we want to peek out, I guess we can
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I don't know. For me, I'm just kind of trying to quickly get through all these so I can see I just want to know what's going on, man.
said, okay, I have no aversion, and quickly just trying to find out if that's what you want to do.
Do what? You broke up a little bit.
Oh, I said I have no aversion to us just saying we have the Monty clause and seeing if we can get a more satisfying ending if that's what you'd prefer to do.
I am I'm curious about that. I don't know if that's the canonical route though, is what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
If you want to run back, okay. Because I know this probably ends with the same ending, right? Like if we go here, oh, we get a game over.
Yeah. Oh, game over. Okay.
So with Gregory not immediately there, he kills us. Interesting. So the only thing that saved us was the fact that we went to Monty Gulf or Bonnie Bowl.
Yeah.
Because okay, so if we run back, if you crawl away, your way out of Monty's Gulf, is that what we did last time?
I
Oh wait,
don't
hold on.
remember.
Okay, so this leads to. Wait, hold on. All you can do is close your eyes and suddenly you drop. Cassie? Oh, interesting that it leads here. Because why didn't Gregory save us last time? What? Strange.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusing stuff happening here.
So that leads to that ending. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna kind of peruse through here. Okay, this is if we hide behind the snack counter. So we can go to Bonnie Bowl. If we observe Monty a little longer. Let's see. No, that just leads to the same. It's interesting that that literally just ends to like one of the endings, but the other ones don't. Is there anything else we're missing besides the key card? Oh, there's two. Strange. Why is he wanting to kill us? I mean, okay. To be fair, if Gregory is under Glitchop's control, it makes absolute sense that Gregory would try to befriend somebody that is vulnerable and lonely and all alone, because that's the whole MO of Glitchtrap. That's literally, if you read Tales of the Pizzaplex, the entire story is that it's a bunch of kids and vulnerable situations being lured and then put through absolute crap in order to effectively like harvest remnant, harvest the agony, the suffering from their souls, basically, to feed this entity, right? And then you have the mimic, which is kind of a facilitation of that process. It's a kind of like a tool, seemingly, that whatever this entity is using. And the mimic doesn't really seem to like being used, so it's kind of trying to fight back. Um, so Gregory is an extension of that, right? So him doing this makes perfect sense. So he's like trying to push her along, gain trust with her, and then he's like, okay, now it's time to lure her, and then slowly, kind of. But why? Okay, so like, it's almost a situation of like, if she dies, she dies. Maybe it's enough. But why would some situations
Yeah.
lead to him saving her and others not?
That is a curious thing. Is he like just corrupted or
Well, I mean, he's fully under Glitchtrap's control. This leads to okay. So it's the kind of the same endings too. This isn't just another prank. Interesting. So that's night 2. So we don't really glean anything from that, seemingly. Item-wise, we get the food keycard, which I think is what we need for night 3 to get out of the kitchen. So we got night 3, we get trapped by
Yeah.
Freddy, brought here. Now, if we want to find a place to hide, hold on. Okay. So, hide if you want to explore the kitchen. Yeah, so it was this one. And then if we have the food service key, we can leave. So let's try that. You remember the food service key card you found and take it out of the bag, hoping it will work. One swipe later, and the key card lights up green success. You push the door open and head into the hallway, hoping that it's not too late to catch up with Gregory and Freddy. If this is a joke, they're probably heading to play video games, one of the arcades, while laughing about you being stuck in the kitchen. You turn a corner when suddenly, a little way ahead, a bot appears, but it's unlike any bot you've ever seen before in the Pizzaplex. It's larger with 2 arms that into nozzles, tanks. Okay, we know this. The reagent. Retreat back to the kitchen. So it just loops us back? We don't get anything from that?
Yeah, maybe.
What does this lead to? You need to be quick. If you want to peek out and see if the reagent is gone. That's the game over. So that's all game over. Okay. So this all happens in the kitchen. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's Roxy. It's a new... I'm trying to see how long this is. How many... Okay, we already know that. Okay, that's where it starts. So... You have a can of Sodaroni. Okay. She sneak out. I guess I'm just trying to see. Okay, this is new. What is this? It seems like a bad idea to risk checking the kitchen to see if the reagent is gone. So instead, you opt in to hope it's gone. You are working quietly. Suddenly, you hear something. Okay. So that's all kind of the same. So this doesn't really give us much.
Yeah.
because even the items don't really work.
Yeah. Don't necessarily know what we're supposed to do.
So, okay. So I'm guessing one of these gives us an item that is the key card. So we use that on night 4. So this is okay. So executive clearance key card. Search the hallway. So this is going to give us the clause. You wonder if the executive clearance card would make a difference in opening the crate you saw in Monty's green room. Roxy, we need to make a stop. Roxy supportively follows you as you creep down the hallway into the next green room. Monty is absent. Thankfully, you're not sure if Gregory was telling the truth about fixing his programming or not, but you'd rather not have to deal with Monty right now. You go over to the crate and inspect the lock again, taking out the executive clearance key card. You slip it into the card reader. Okay, so it is literally canonically impossible that for Cassie to not know that Gregory programmed Roxy to kill her.
Which is strange. Unless we find out that it was something else in one of the endings.
Which I think has to be likely. Okay. Arms for Monty, you realize, brand new and tipped with flashy silver metal claws. They're heavy. So these are the upgrades. Shows off her... Wait. A little while later, Roxy shows... So, what is happening? Why is Cassie just immediately upgrading Roxy with no effort?
Yeah.
Oh, forget Monty. These look great on me. That's funny. That's really funny. Add Monty's claws to Roxy. Backstage, so we can go to the search the hallway. This is just gonna loop us around.
Yeah.
There was something here, wasn't there? The executive clearance key card to open the door.
Maybe.
Let's see. Let's see. Inside immediately, you head for a monitor lining the wall. Isn't this Fanny's room? Or no. That's Lost and Found. There it is. Roxy points. You look at a monitor. She's indicate which shows that the site of the Superstar Daycare. There, the regent is making a slow search. Interesting. If you're lucky, maybe it's occupied. I thought it was. Maybe it's not deactivated yet. Gregory. Yeah, because at this point it's not deactivated. Okay. Can you see anything? If you want to take the key. Wait, there's a key? You go over where she's standing next to one of the control panels. Inserted in one of them is a metal key. You're not sure what it is, but it looks like it could be important. Okay. Let's take the key. If you decide to leave the key behind.
Yes, obviously.
The metal key looks too important not to take with you. You reach for it. You hesitate.
Why would you leave it?
Wait, lights flash across the console as you jump back, dropping the key. It clatters away under the console, out of reach. What? Why? What? So, okay. Trying to retrieve the key. So the issue with this book is it doesn't actually like respect or respond properly to your choices. It doesn't that's the issue with it. That's why it's frustrating, is because it tells you to do things, you go to this effort of looking for it, and then it ends up being nothing.
Oh yeah, it's hard to navigate this, I will say. You know,
if you want to
like I can tell just watching that we're sort of like lost in a circle, and it doesn't seem to be really clear what we're getting at.
Okay, if you want to lock the door, if you want to leave and take left,
like I feel like this would be maybe a little bit less confusing if this was a little bit more like a visual novel in some
Turn back.
respects. But yeah.
Wait, what? Okay. You turn back towards her and the monitor. The reagent is inside again. In fact, it's very nearly at the backstage office. You watch on the camera as it rolls closer, finally coming to a stop outside the office door. It examines the entrance as if confused about what to do next. Then suddenly, it raises one of its arms and touches the end to the keypad. Inside the keypad, you just locked flashes green. So it just does that. Gas fills the air. So this thing sounds a lot like Glitch Trap. It can just immediately reactivate
Yes.
things like just from touching the keypad. Okay. So this thing has a lot of like once again, I keep comparing it back to the entity. The entity is Glitch Trap. I'm sorry. Like the entity from Ruin is so Glitch Trap, and it frustrates me that people don't see it. But like in the security breach files, which is like the guide, and there's a lot of issues that people point out with that, which I don't really get. It's like just a guide. In there, it literally calls the entity a virus. Like it makes sense. It like in that okay. Anyways, we're just gonna get off that. Okay. So if we look down, this is Freddy holding Gregory who's limp dead. I don't get this part. So okay, if we try to attack Gregory, but the problem is none of that matters because it's all a prank. Okay. Oh, we can't use the claws here.
It's
If you want to make a run for okay, wait a second. Let's do this because there's a thing. Okay, that leads to this. Okay. Um. Okay, so if we just make a run for it, that just wait, hold on. It's the reagent. You don't cry out. Interesting. Okay. So we die if we try to go to the entrance. Okay, hold on. What is that emoji?
it's the pregnant Mel emoji.
Why? No, not Matt Pat. Did you
Not that.
in the flesh?
Oh my
No.
God.
Don't talk about that. Okay, let me just scan through this, see if... Oh my goodness, look, it's the map bot. Okay, so let me just see...
It's the map. It's the map.
Not the map bot, but not... That would be so funny if we saw the map bot. Let me just scan through here and see if we've, like, missed anything interesting. Like, where we can use the claws. Okay. Okay. So you want to run for the front door. Okay. Okay, Monty's claws. Here it is. Okay, what does this do? You stop as you remember that Roxy is equipped with Monty's claws. That should make her more than a match for Freddy. Roxy, you crawl. Stop. Freddy used the new claws. Roxy pauses when you do, looking down at her newly upgraded arms. Then she smiles and turns back to Freddy, who is still charging at you, roaring. Wait, hold on, but Roxy's in on the joke.
Yeah, she isn't on the joke, but that's not gonna stop her. Maybe.
Freddy doesn't slow, but Roxy dodges out of the way, raking her claws across Freddy's side as he passes, which means she's just murdering Gregory. Freddy lets out a cry, spitting it towards Gregory as he tries to grab her, but Roxy jumps back, keeping out his reach as he grabs again and again. I've got him, you cry, swelling up with admiration for your favorite member of the glam rock group. With Monty's claws, Roxy is unstoppable. Growling, Freddy lunges again, but Roxy doesn't flinch. She rakes her claws across him again. They bite even deeper this time, and Freddy stumbles, falling to the ground. He twitches a little bit, but doesn't get up. You let out a cry of triumph. Roxy, why did you do that? Suddenly, you hear a voice that you never expected to hear again. You turn to as Gregory comes running up, very much alive. You ruined the whole joke, he continues. What? Oh, says Roxy, chastised. I guess I got carried away. I'll say, says Freddy weakly. Your stomach drops. This was another joke. Duh, says Gregory. Roxy was supposed to get you to... You were in on it? Okay, so this leads to this whole thing. But this time it leads to a different version where Freddy's, like, ripped up. But I guess Freddy doesn't really play a part in that chapter, so it doesn't really matter. So it...
Yeah, I guess so.
So again, reinforcing, it canonically is that Cassie, like, learns about Gregory's programming. There are no endings in this, that it looks like.
Yeah, we can't stop it.
Okay.
Which is strange. It's not what you'd expect for sure.
Where is the canonical ending for this? Okay. I'm not seeing it, so I'm guessing that it's just chapter 5. Okay. Okay, so chapter 5, the big enigma. So we want to cost this search carefully if you want to make a run for the main computer. So this immediately leads us to our main quest of the computer. Like, this is an urgent linear path. So where's the branching off? Okay, so if you have the flashlight, is there something we can do? You know, the stairs. If you want to use the flashlight, my computer. Yeah, so that's her getting angry. That's her getting angry. Rock, paper, scissors. We didn't pick scissors. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that would just lead to another death. Maybe I'm wrong.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, because the rock answer was because the rock, paper, scissors was just a trick.
What? Okay, hold on. Roxy doesn't budge. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay, so this one... Okay. So, if you have the flashlight... So this is... Hold button so your door remains closed. Oh, hold on. What's this? Looking carefully around the corner, you flick the flashlight on and shine it down the hallway. There's a flare of movement. I think I've got it. You try. Okay, this is a further thing with the computer. I'm not sure what the context is for that one. So that leads to... Let me ignore that for now, so because I don't have context for that. Okay. This was our main deviation, I wonder. Run to the top of the stairs. Okay, so because this one is the one where we get to the reagent. If you want to lure the reagent to the main lobby. Okay, so if we have Monty's claws. Okay, you're tired of trying to avoid the reagent. So are you up for confronting?
Yeah.
So Roxy, okay.
I mean, you just gotta try
Wait.
different paths till we get something
okay,
new.
hold on. This is an end. Okay, so you're tired of trying to avoid the reagent. It's time to deal with it head on. You look at Roxy's hands, the ones you've upgraded with the new claws you found in Monty's green room. With those accessories, she might actually be a match for reagent. You point out the claws. Roxy, do you think you're up for confronting the reagent if I lure it out? Roxy looks down at her hands. She flexes her fingers, the razor-sharp tips winking and blind. Oh yeah. If you think it'll work, Cassie, I've got your back. You creep through the Pizzaplex, listening for any evidence of the bot. You near the prize counter, which is where you saw it last. You swallow, nervous to be acting as bait. But you also know you don't have a choice. If you're going to deal with the reagent, you need to lure it out into the open. No point in being subtle. You think, hey! Your voice sounds super loud in the deserted Pizzaplex, echoing a little. Hey bot, are you looking for me? Here I am. At first you think your efforts have come to nothing, then suddenly you hear the sound of something getting close. It's a sound you recognize all too well by now. The reagent appears rushing at you, turning. You run bolting across the Pizzaplex, but the reagent is moving faster than you expected. Closing in, you need to move it back to the main stage, but if you don't move faster, Fear gives you one last burst of energy, enough to carry you into the main stage area. Roxy, get ready. You roar sounds above you as Roxy launches herself off the stage, landing between you and the reagent. Her claws are arced down and nozzles go flying. Slices cleanly off the reagent's arms. The bot flails, making an angry screeching sound, but Roxy continues her attack, clawing at it again and again. You hear the sound of metal tearing as you get to your feet and back away, trying to run again if you need to. But Roxy blows are relentless. Within minutes, she's made short work of the reagent. Its attempts to roll backwards, then falls into its side. You wait, but it doesn't move again. You did it, Roxy. The reagent is dead. Roxy sighs with relief. Thank goodness. Or actually, thank these babies. I think I'll keep them. Good idea. You say, feeling safe for the first time in a long time. Now, I think it's time for me to get out of here. Roxy looks a little sad but nods. I'll walk you out to the exit. With Roxy at your side, you make your way to the front of the Pizzaplex. When you try the doors, they open easily. Whatever locking protocol they had ended along with the reagent. Okay. Thanks, Roxy, you say. She smiles. Come back soon, Cassie. I'll miss you. A dark figure outside the entrance turns as you exit. It's Gregory. He gives you the biggest, most mischievous grin, then says, "What game do you want to play tomorrow?"
What? Well, we see... What? Sean, is it just me, or does that ending make less sense than the first ending?
I don't know. I don't know.
I want something far more satisfying than this. This like
Is there any? Oh,
answers
there is. Wait,
nothing.
hold on. That wasn't the canon ending. That wasn't the canon ending. This is the canon ending. How do we get this? Wait, hold on. You use you use a can of Soda-Roni to get the canon ending, or maybe it's not the canon ending, but it's another ending. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Maybe this is okay. Robot. Okay, quickly you reach into your bag and pull out a can of Sodaroni you found earlier. You know the pepperoni flavored soft drink isn't very good for you. Hopefully, it will be even worse for the reagent. It hisses as you pull the tab open. You lean over the battered remains of the bot, dodging its weakly flailing limbs as you reach for the cover on its chemical tank. You flip it open and pour the soda in, emptying the whole can. Then you stand back. For a moment, nothing happens. The reagent continues to try to point its nozzles at you. Then the arms freezes. There's a hissing sound, but not like the one when it's spraying the chemicals. Instead, this hiss comes from within the chemical tank. Suddenly, liquid begins to violently bubble out of the reagent's tank, pouring over the robot and onto the floor. Anywhere it touches, the metal starts to corrode. You jump back as a horrible smell fills the air. What's happening? Cries Roxy. You cover your nose. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's good for the reagent. The robot starts to spasm and shake. The oozing, bubbling liquid is coming over faster now, reminding you of a vinegar and baking soda volcanoes you used to make in science class. Then the reagent gives you off one last sad metallic shriek and goes still. You did it. The reagent is destroyed. Letting out a relieved sigh, you turn to Roxy. It's dead. Thank goodness, she exclaims. Way to go, Cassie. Now it's time to get out of here. You start to turn away, but something catches your eye. A card sticking out from the compartment in the remains of the reagent. You reach open and pull it out. It's an executive clearance card. You decide to take it. After all, it might come in handy another night. But for now, you've had enough of the Pizzaplex.
Ooh.
Hold on. So the executive... Oh, the executive card, the thing that we used to get the claw, was a reoccurring item that you get at the end that gives you the other ending.
Ah, I see.
So, wait, and start over from night 4 for a new adventure. Yeah, okay. So you get the executive clearance card. But that doesn't even give you anything new. It gives you the claws, but...
Yeah, it's still mostly the same.
Wait, hold on. Why are there multiple endings? Working quickly, you fumble through the bag, pulling out a screwdriver you found. Okay. So you... Oh, no, we got that one. We already know that one. But we don't know this one. Using gain, you're not going to make it. Roxy, cry out, get ready. Okay, come on. You say, stepping through the door and the people... Wait, hold on. Come play with us again, Roxy says, waving goodbye. Oh... Don't worry, you say, stepping through the door and out of the Pizzaplex. I will. What happened to us? What happened to us? What were we infected with? Think.
Who knows?
Okay, what other endings are there? Any other endings? Okay, that's just from that. Okay. This seems like the main canonical ending that it wants to give us. And I hate that. I hate that so much.
Yeah, I don't... And that might just be it, but I don't think it's a satisfying ending.
It's not. It really sucks.
It set up a lot of mystery. And it's not necessarily that you need a concrete answer, but
something that is like, oh, okay, ruin
Okay,
makes sense,
okay,
or like,
okay.
is this thing just is like go
Let
on?
let me. Okay, so is Cassie corrupted now? Is that what all this was for? Um, like you destroyed the reagent. What was the point of the reagent? Like, okay, even the Sodaroni is a reference to it being a literal reagent because it literally the Sodaroni was a reagent in the chemicals. Sodaroni is important too because in Help Wanted 2, Sodaroni was one of the main ingredients. Mixing all the drinks together got you one of the memory plushes from that. So that's another like reference. Sodaroni's not just a random mention. That's like something specific that has like kind of symbolic meaning in a way. Um, so it kind of in that area it was meant to like represent like mixing all the souls together to create the memories. Um, so the thing is, right? Okay, it's possible that her being infected with that whatever that chemical was possibly affects how she views this and like affects maybe she doesn't question Gregory because maybe it affects maybe she's infected now. That's the only thing I can think of. I
Yeah, but it just doesn't seem like a super satisfying answer to me.
It's not. It really
Like,
is
even
not.
if that is the case, I'm like, you know.
So okay. Did we miss anything? I will. Like this right here. Like the fact that no one's coming for her. There's so many like narrative contradictions here that just seem so weird and out of place. Like you get all of these items, but you never use half of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we're just missing something, but I feel like we've really tried to be pretty thorough with our exploration at this point.
Is there anything else with the Monte Claus?
The thing that sucks is I feel like it was setting up some good stuff, but then it just sort of drops the ball by just concluding far too fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything else other than what we already did. Any other references to anything else? Glitch trap. um, did we miss any Gregory? I mean, I
Yeah.
know Gregory was mentioned a lot, but
No,
okay.
I don't think so. And honestly, by the page count, I don't. It's very likely there might not be another ending, unfortunately,
I am okay.
which is just kind of anticlimactic.
I I feel I went into this like genuinely wanting this book to be really really good and wanting to prove the doubters wrong and find something that like everyone had missed. But honestly, I kind of am leaving this about the same opinion as probably everybody else, and I hate that. I wish I had
Yeah,
like I
sa-
wish
same here.
I wish that because like hearing so much complaints about it, it's like almost this idea of like, oh no, I will prove the haters wrong. But now I agree, this sucks.
You want to like it, but
I
now
want to
you're
like
like,
this so
yeah,
much, and maybe I'll find an explanation that makes me like this book again. But for right now, I think this kind of goes up there with Return to the Pit, where it feels very jarring and dissonant to like a very uncomfortable level where it just like leaves me feeling okay, you're talking about things that are leading up to games that we know a lot about, and yet it's not matching up. Like Cassie can't know these things. This doesn't make sense. Unless everything just gets wiped. Like why is Cassie? Why?
yeah.
Why is Gregory being the way he
Well,
is?
it's also one of those things where Cassie almost feels like she's written too smart to be lured the way she is in Ruin. Like
Yeah.
she picks up on bad vibes so easily in this book, and she's almost always right, that it makes like either she's very out of character in Ruin or she's very out of character in this book. Because she's
Also,
supposed to be more gullible.
okay. Also, the fact that the reagent controls the Pizzaplex's lockdown mode is actually pretty crazy because that links directly with Ruin because everything's in lockdown. Somebody activated lockdown security, and the thing that did that was the entity or the nodes, right? That's really interesting. Also, that happens a lot in Security Breach with the different lockdowns. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But besides that, like it's interesting that you have a book that's so big, um, and yet it's not really that big at all. It's a lot of repetitiveness, and it doesn't reward you for exploring.
Yeah,
Like
they just didn't take advantage of the medium, and it's disappointing because it really looked on a surface level before you get into it like it will.
yeah,
And something like this you would imagine has a lot of replayability, but the two different endings, like the true ending and the non-true ending, there's so little difference that I like
it doesn't
I
make
don't know.
sense. Why would you lock the
It,
true ending behind it's
it's
minimal.
yeah. It's so minimal that like it actually doesn't change the narrative hardly at all,
The
other
only
than it
thing
makes Gregory look worse.
it only makes it worse because she meets with Gregory and he's like, "Oh, we're just going to keep going." Like did Gregory plant the reagent? Was that not him? Also, why in the heck if the reagent was legitimately, which we know Gregory did it because his program freaking triggered it. And like specifically said to target Cassie. It knew who she was, so that was like Gregory's program specifically targeting her for I guess messing up his plans. But then Gregory's just like normal again, and he's like, "Oh, let's do this again tomorrow." So you have him specifically keeping this way. What changed between this and Security Breach? Did anything change?
Yeah. No, I don't. So maybe Gregory got a mind wipe because he's a robot.
That's true, maybe.
That's no, I don't know. I feel conflicted because I feel like there's a lot of interesting ideas here, but it's almost like the author of this book didn't want to commit to anything, so they gave you like a non-answer, but they set up so many things that we just can't have a non-answer to.
Yeah. Also, so apparently, this is kind of funny. I was seeing on like the Discord that I typically because I'm like on the I typically go on like the official, not
Oh,
official, it's not official, but like the game theory
yeah.
adjacent server where we talk about FNAF and stuff. One thing that I saw mentioned on here, and I don't know if this is confirmed. Apparently, there were Security Breach 2 leaks. Um, and one of the things that was mentioned was reagent as being something in regards to it, which I'm I'm gonna be so real. Security Breach 2 is a bold choice if that's true. Like going from Secret of the Mimic to going to like, because the whole thing is like Fazbear Entertainment's like, oh, we're gonna reopen the spring, so like I don't know, potentially them setting up doing a like almost like maybe more of a Pizzaplex like we see in the books. That would actually be kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't I it would be kind of crazy. I don't think we need a security breach to I mean, they could do it. I'd much
Yeah, I think that literally that was just something
rather.
that
Um
for they put that on like 4chan, so take that with a major grain of salt.
yeah, I don't know though. I definitely it sort of sucks because I'd say the opening was maybe a little bit slow. I'd say the middle is pretty good in the book. It's just that once you're past you just have a dud of an ending, and regardless of which one you get, you feel just as dissatisfied either way.
Yeah, I definitely have. I think that I agree. Like overall,
But
I like
there's a lot of good ideas, but yeah.
I was definitely intrigued for most of it, but just like getting to the end, it just it fell flat. Well, I think that I'm gonna end the stream
Yeah.
right there. I think I need time to
Yep.
process.
Yep, it was a pleasure. Commenter that was very active in the chat. I hope that we see you again in future chats. You're amazing. Uh, like the ending of this. Hopefully, this one does good at least viewership wise. Later on too. If you made
Uh,
it to the end of the stream, make sure to
like
comment
and
potatoes.
subscribe. Like and potatoes. All right, see you guys.